Hey, it's Calvin from ZenBilling. So I was looking around to see if I could find a video illustrating how to use mind maps for these kinds of presentations that I could share and that would be in English and stuff, but I couldn't really find anything. So I figured let's make one here. So this small presentation is why use mind maps for presentations online of content and stuff. And as you can see, there's three parts to it. There's why it's awesome, why it's not quite so awesome, and finally an action step for you to move forward with this. So let's look at that. So why it's awesome? Well, it's a great way to come up with your content and to structure your content anyway. You might be using mind maps to, think through your structure, your content, and how you want to present it. And so you have it right there, and it's just a matter of you keep refining and organizing and tweaking, and then that's the presentation that you give, basically. So it's very easy and simple for you integrated into your process that way. Also, it lets your students easily, I guess easily is a better term, easily see what's coming. So, for example, right now you can see this is the presentation we're on. These are the bullets that we're going to go through, the main areas, and here's where we've gotten to. So it's very easy, and you can quickly grasp, just get the sense of where you are in the whole structure of the presentation that you're listening to, which is great also for afterwards for navigating through the video. So picture the video being up somewhere on the website or in ZenBilling space, and then you just quickly scan through it in order to find where is this person talking about this particular content that I'm interested in. That makes it very easy. Whereas if you're looking at individual slides with no context on every single slide, then scanning and figuring out where is this piece that I'm interested in is very difficult, because you just see individual slides and then you have to reference back and see, oh, where in the process was this? Is this before or after the thing I'm looking for? Also, you don't have to be on screen yourself, which is, that's a shared benefit with something like a PowerPoint presentation. But in general, once you're on screen, being on screen is awesome for rapport and for letting people see who you are and building trust and many other things it's great for. But it just requires more effort on your part. You need to have the camera, completely different kind of camera and lighting and audio setup, and you may need stylist or makeup artist, or just make sure that you look your handsomest. All these things that really complicate the process, whereas if you can just record a screencast, it's so much simpler. You can also edit things on the fly, which adds personality. So I actually intentionally left this in, but as you can see, I'd already made a change up here. I find that making these kind of changes on the fly adds a sense of aliveness and personality and flavor and character to it. You don't have to do it, obviously, and it might be really confusing if you're constantly moving things around and really making big edits. But these small things where we can feel like that, how actually the process of communicating this to us as your students also enlightens you, and bulbs go off and things like that. It makes us feel like we're part of the process, which can be pretty delightful, actually, when done with taste. So those are some of the reasons that I find these mind map kind of presentations pretty awesome. So let's look at why it's not so awesome. And one reason is that it's not nearly as sexy as a nice, well-designed slide deck. I find it kind of looks a little technical. It looks a little, it's not really super sexy. You can tweak the looks a bit. Up here is a style chooser, so we can try this format. So there you go. That wasn't much better, but there are others. Let's see, what do we got? Was that the one we came from? It says default. Yeah, it was just exactly the one we came from. What else we got? I think I tend to like the teal one here. There we go. I think that's a little more sexy, a little more well designed. What else do we have? Lime. Yeah, so you can create your own styles as well. I think I'm gonna go with the teal. No, shoot. We'll just leave it here. So you can make it, a little more slick, but it's not really, a well-designed slide deck can just be a lot more sexy, and you don't have to. It doesn't take a lot to make your slides look pretty good. I have yet to see a mind map that looks stunning. Anyway, so that's a not so awesome feature. If you want to give people the mind map for like download and navigation, what I tend to do is give them a PDF printout of the whole thing. So you expand everything and then you bring it all on one page and then you give them that as a handout, which it works pretty well. The good thing is that it gives you everything on one page versus if it's a slide deck, it might be like 10 pages long and you've got 3 or 4 slides per page. The good thing about that, obviously, is that you can have this place for people to take notes alongside each slide. But I find that it's just, again, it's not really helpful in order to get an overview of the content here, and it ends up being a lot of wasted paper and stuff. So I kind of like having everything on one page. It can get very busy, but you can just, if you open it on your computer, you can just zoom into the level where you can actually tell what's going on. So that's the good and the bad part, is that it can be really finicky. If you print it, it might be kind of hard to read if it's a big mind map, but you've got everything on one page, which is a benefit too. I also tend to give people the original, it's called .mmap, source file for this piece of software that I happen to use. But the software is like $130 cost or something like that. So it's quite expensive if your students need to buy that in order to get access to it. I think there's a free viewer though, so that might be helpful. But it's not a perfect solution. Until Google someday includes a mind map as part of their Google Docs solution, that's what you have to work with. All right, so that's roughly it. In terms of action step, here's what you can do. Play around with it. So create your presentation, try recording it, see what you feel like, and see what your students think. And I personally use this piece of software called MindJet Mind Manager. So MindJet is the company, and Mind Manager is the product. I'm not a huge fan, but it is the best that I found. I haven't done research recently, but when I looked, there was like MindMeister, Bubble.us, and a bunch of others that I looked at, which I forget, and they were not as great. iThoughts is for iOS, can be kind of useful, and it also integrates with it reads and writes the format of Mind Manager, so you can integrate like that. And for recording, in case you're interested, I use ScreenFlow, which is an application for the Mac. I think it's $100 one-time purchase, which is awesome. There are tons of others. I think on Windows there's just like one that people use, which is Camtasia. But that's about it. So, and for recording audio, I actually just use the headset from my iPhone. But there's some scratches you can hear, like there's some scratching sound. So it's not perfect, but the sound is actually pretty good, and there's no big like echo. I have a nice mic. I think it's called, like a nice, really good standalone microphone, but it tends to get a lot of echo from the room and things like that. So now you need to worry about those kinds of things. You can also use a proper lavalier mic microphone. But now we're getting to a whole nother topic. Anyway, that was just it for mind maps, recording, doing presentations via mind maps. Have fun, enjoy, and as always, of course, go over to zenbilling.com and sign up for an account there and create your awesomest online courses and offline courses using Zenbilling to market and sell and deliver your courses and PDFs and whatever or not you might be selling. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Calvin Conaway, author of Zenbilling. Bye-bye.